Welcome back, everybody. This is Tyler Wabe from Pro Physique, and today we're going to continue our Flab to Ab series with talking about how to set up your reverse, what the training should look like, and what to do with your cardio. Alright, welcome back, everybody. So if you have been following along in this latest series, you know that we are now at the reverse part. So how do we set up our reverse diet? Training considerations, cardio considerations, macro considerations, what should it look like? If this is the first video you're watching, let's make sure to go back to the very first one, all about how to set up a diet, go through the diet, lose weight, and then as we come out of it, that's kind of what this whole series is about. Title says it all, from Flab to abs. So you finished up your diet, you're ready to eat more food, you're ready to do less cardio. So how do we do that? Well, let's start off with food. So there are two different ways that we can actually approach this. One's a little more aggressive, and then the other one, a little more minimalistic in its approach. So let's talk about maybe the more aggressive approach. And it's called the recovery diet, as it's been coined by 3DMJ. They're absolutely amazing leaders in the industry, great coaches, and just are absolutely fantastic. But they've called it the recovery diet. And what this is basically taking your calories and bringing them right up to maintenance levels right away, or maybe like your refeed day numbers right in there is probably a good choice, because then you can kind of see how your body reacts. But essentially the idea is that we want to get you out of the diet, get the body, the metabolism normal as fast as possible so that you can start building muscle as soon as you can. And so that is going to be the more aggressive approach. Now, you are probably going to see a little more body fat gain with this approach, just because you are bringing calories up a lot quicker than maybe the slower approach. And so you are going to see a little bit of that. But fat gain isn't necessarily a bad thing, as long as it's not too much and you're binging and you're going crazy. So fat gain is going to be good, just because that's how the body normalizes. Because you have gotten the body fat a bit lower, maybe you're stage lean, just a lot leaner than you typically are, your body needs body fat to get back to normal, to heal, to start building muscle. And so you are going to probably see a little bit more fat gain with this way. And so some people don't really like that approach just because of that factor alone. They spend all this time losing the body fat just to gain a little bit of it back. And that's understandable. But again, I think we need to be a little less fearful of some body fat, as it is the signs of a very healthy body. So that is the more aggressive approach that you can do. As long as we're not going, you're gaining 3-4 pounds a week, I would say that you're probably in a pretty good spot. You should see some weight gain, but not a ton, and it should normalize at some point. Now, two, the more minimalistic approach could be for someone who maybe wants to, put on a lot less body fat as time goes on and really slowly bring up the metabolism. Now, the problem is with this is that it is going to take more time for the body to recover, because you are going a bit slower. So typically you're only really looking at 10-15 grams of carbs a week here, and letting the body really just kind of catch up with that amount of food, and you slowly bring up the food. So those are the two options that are afforded to you. I would say for probably your physique competitor, as long as they're going into a longer off season, I would recommend being a lot more aggressive, because you want to spend as much time as you can building muscle. And when you're stage lean, and you're that hungry, you're just going to want more food. You're going to be okay with some body fat gain, because there's a lot of room for body fat to come on with still looking pretty lean. Now, if you're just kind of your general population, you've dropped 20, 30, 40 pounds maybe over this dieting phase, the minimalistic approach is probably going to be a little more in your favor, just because you probably still have some body fat left and you don't really want to put any on, and you didn't get super stage lean, so you don't really need to do a more aggressive approach. And so I would do the more, 10 grams of carbs this week, 2 grams of fat, see how the body does. Okay, we stayed stable this week, another 10 grams, and then slowly build that way. All right, so that's food. For cardio, that's something that we're going to be wanting to bring down as well. So depending on how much you've been doing, how far you've gone into the diet, it's probably going to look pretty similar. Typically what I'll do is an initial decrease, and again, there's an aggressive and a minimalistic approach as well. Aggressive, boom, let's just cut it in half right off the bat, right? Like just completely, decrease at a time, let the body recover here. But again, same with the food approach, you're probably going to see a little more body fat gain going with this approach because you're just cutting your activity in half all of a sudden when the body is used to doing an X amount of work. But again, remember, body fat isn't necessarily a bad thing. The minimalistic approach, what I would do is I would take the total amount of steady state cardio that you've been doing, and I would just take 15%, 10%, right? You can start there and see then again, your check-ins, what is the body doing? Are we staying stable? Okay, let's take another 10%. And you can slowly walk it back down as you're walking your food back up as long as weight's staying pretty stable. So you can go either way. Again, if you're a physique competitor and you've been doing, 60 minutes of cardio a day or 90 or, you're really getting up there, I would definitely go again with the aggressive approach. Again, general population, you're probably not doing levels of cardio that say a physique competitor would do, so you could probably get away with a bit more of a conservative approach of decreasing your cardio. So we've covered food, we've covered cardio. Training wise, well, are you still progressing on a week to week basis? All right, like are you still seeing strength gains throughout the week to weeks over time? If you are, there's really no need to change anything, right? You can probably keep the same training because you are making progress. Now, you're probably going to start to see the intensity in the gym actually go up as you get more food and you're doing less cardio. You're recovering a lot more. You're giving the body the fuel it needs. So you're probably actually going to see your workouts get better as you start to come out of this dieting phase. Now, if you have found that you're stalling, you're just not increasing your strength as quickly as possible, or you're feeling a little bit tired, well, maybe time to either take a deload week, all right, taper it all down, let the body recover, and then come out of it, or you can add a little more work. You can add some sets, some reps, drop sets, change it up a little bit just to make sure to keep that body progressing with the strength gains. So as you can see, there is a few ways that you can go about coming out of this diet, depending on where you're at, what you're comfortable with, and just how you're feeling. Basically, you can go a little more aggressive if you're just absolutely feeling like crap and you just want to get your body back to normal as soon as possible, which I would say that most physique competitors are at that point. Or you can go a little more minimalistic approach where you're not doing horrible. You feel tired, run down, but you could be a little more conservative with your approach. Whether you can decrease cardio a little bit slower and increase calories a little bit slower, and you're gonna stay a bit leaner as you increase everything and get your metabolism back into a normal position. So that's going to be everything for today, guys. Appreciate you watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any videos in the future here. And if you have any questions, feel free to either send me an email or just leave a comment down below.